All right. Wake up, rise and grind. It's 7:01 a.m. This is Friday. I guess it's the last official day of vacation for me. Then it's the weekend. And technically I have Monday off too, so I'll have a couple extra days, but I have to leave the cabin in the woods. Actually went kayaking yesterday. I finished page 22. You might have seen me working on this panel, or even on that panel. When did I finish this panel? Um, you can see that one of the card guards is still up. One's gone. Brillig's getting tossed off. So this is the next page. It's a full bleed here, and I'm looking at it, and yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good. There's a little bug there. Um, all right. So let's get into it. As far as where to start, I'm going to start foreground and then go up, even though it's hard to really determine what's closest. My original plan was to make this as a chapter header, and then I thought, well, it might be confusing to people because it hasn't happened yet. Like this is a scene from the battle. And where he's getting kind of bowled over. It'd be a good cover. I don't usually do covers. I have a hard time getting my mind into the cover mindset, which is different than the sequential mindset by far. All right. This is not meant to be blood. It's just meant to be dark. So let's throw some dark right up front, some shadows. Um, I might live to regret that, but let's go ahead and start the figure. I think round head still. Oof. Sorry. He's upside down, so that's the I'm just turning it that way to see it. He's got these kind of feathers that stick out. And then there we go. All right. Cut into the shadow a little bit. He's seemingly at the mercy of the Jub here, but I think that my original plan is he's going to get hurled at a wall or into a hedge. He's in the hedge maze still. Well, this whole battle takes place in the hedge maze, and there's not a lot of scenery in this particular panel. Got to keep You got to keep reminding people of the scenery. So this is the scenery taking place in 22. So by the time I get to 23, I think this might go to at least 28 or 29. Whoops. Come on now. Makes me a little worried. I think this is a Wi-Fi thing where it's connecting to Wi-Fi. But I can't edit it until that little blue line goes across. And I haven't seen that since very often. Makes me want to run a backup of the iPad that's on. I shouldn't be worrying about the details too much, just to get the outline, the forms, the shapes, the shape language. Hmm. What's my voice? I just woke up. I feel like I went to bed at a decent hour last night. All right, let's see without the pencil. Yeah, okay, we're gonna have our work cut out for us as far as texture, in the inking. We're definitely gonna be thinking about all that stuff. But it is coming out pretty good. All right, bring it on back. Yeah, so what's gonna happen here? Jub Jub comes barreling down on Burlig. He's gonna have some kind of pithy line that he's gonna say here. It's gonna look pretty bad. Then the one surviving card guard's gonna actually get in a nice stab with that spear. You can see he's still alive. And not although he's not in this panel, he's in the previous panel. So we'll suddenly remember this guy. The Jub Jub hurls Brillig against a wall and then runs away. Brillig's knocked out, and then he's brought back to consciousness. He transforms. He transforms back to human form, and he's brought back to consciousness by the one frog that was escorting these guys earlier to the battlefield site in chapter 2. And Brillig will convince them that he can still fight this creature if he just has a weapon. And that's how he gets the Vorpal sword. Or the Vorpal blade. It's not going to be a sword, it's going to be like a glaive. I guess it could be a sword. I don't know. He took his Vorpal sword in hand. It is a sword in the poem. Long time the manxome foe he sought. Okay. Although we could do all kinds of funny things by him asking for a sword, and the best they can give him is a glaive or some other weapon. I thought I asked for a sword. This is in case you're wondering, we've got this whole thing set up and there's no Jabberwock. Well, the Jabberwock's going to be in issue 3 or 4. This is the Jub Jub. Next is the Frumious Bandersnatch, which I think is going to be a con man. There's got to be at least, there might be at least one more issue with something. And then the fourth issue is the one that deals with the Jabberwock. There's going to be all kinds of dust getting kicked up too. I used some of it on the previous page. Smoke looks like. Yeah. Just barely getting missed by the claw right here. I'm wondering if I'm screwing up by giving him 4 claws here instead of the 3. He's got. Should it be 3? I think it's 3. So maybe I can. What I'll do is I'll. Easy enough to do. Oops. Sorry I didn't record the last panel. It came out great. I mean, I'm pretty proud of that panel. All right. This is a weird setup. Okay, there we go. I think that's good. Can't explain. All right. How about a belt buckle? Nope. What do we articulate? What's going on here? There we go. I think we might even make that middle toe bigger. It has these sort of ostrich-like feet. Big, heavy outlines. All right, hang on. There we go. Let's see if we can get all of Brillig's figure. There we go. He's got the same kind of bird-like feet. What can I tell you? Don't waste time. I see some people making comics and they spend a lot of time planning comics and then they never get them started. How much time to plan do you need? I'm not saying don't write it. I mean, obviously, I have a very different way of writing it than other people, but which means I don't write the whole story out ahead. I have an idea though. I mean, I know where certain scenes are going, for example. I have an idea of certain panels even way off in the future. I just don't know how it fits into the story yet. But some people spend a lot of time just planning things out. What's this character going to look like? What's this character going to be? Those are decisions you should have pretty quick. You want to get it while the fire's hot, because a lot of this is all based on, you know, your enthusiasm and your will to complete the project. You run into that powdering out situation that Ed Piskor talked about when he was showing his early stuff. Because anyone can powder out. It means anyone can get to the point where I just don't have the enthusiasm to go forward anymore. You know, this isn't turning out like I hoped. It never turns out like you hoped. So you got to keep going. You kind of got to trust the process, and it may not be the perfect comic. In fact, it's one of those things. It's like I can't remember where I saw this idea. It's a YouTube video saying, you know, when you're on the verge of getting good, you're not good yet, but your taste is good. You know what it should look like. Your taste is killer, but you're maybe it was Rick Rubin. I think it was Rick Rubin, but your capability isn't quite there yet. But you still have to push through. Otherwise, you won't get good. So you're gonna make some sucky comics. That's just how it's gonna be. Um, and the point is to just keep it going. This is almost looking like a Bakshi thing now. What am I doing? All right, hold on. too many forces that'll stop you from creating. Just life will stop you. I need to make his finger pads bigger for his claws. Like these are huge. Maybe I should make these smaller. I could make these smaller. I think it's okay to get in a little distortion here and there in general in cartooning. I was looking at some of this classic John Romita art, John Romita Sr. I like John Romita Jr., but John Romita Sr. is my guy. Um, and there's one of Thor fighting Blastar. And Thor has these huge hands, like his head is this big, but the hands are this big. It's just in there grappling. It looks great. And you don't stop to think about it too much. I mean, you see it, you're like, wow, that's an incredible picture. And I was mainly looking at it for there's some um, background inking elements that Ramita would do that I really like. And I was looking for some examples of those when I noticed that the way he did the proportions on the hands. Okay, whoops. A nice thick outline here. All right. Just barely missed him. Okay. Now when it comes to these claws, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the jub verb. The frumious bandersnatch. Hmm. Feathers. Feathers flying. I think whenever Brillig's in combat, there should always be feathers flying. Like back in the old days, they would have letters to the editor, a letters column in the comic book. I think for Brillig it might be feathers flying or something like that. All right, we got to start. We got to start. 24 minutes. We got to continue now. So there's an arm. I'm not 100% sure I've got the eyes set correctly. I think I'm going to spread them further back. almost to the point where he wouldn't be able to see what's underneath him. Jub Jub's an awkward looking character, and that's kind of the whole point of his design, like a big giant baby bird but with a long beak. In this case, the long beak is foreshortened, so we don't see how long it is. Let's give it a little bit of pump right there. All right. Okay. Settled on three. Three is the magic number. Oh, did you see that thing? Trugoy the dove has passed away. That's pretty uncool. De La Soul. Everyone knows him from. Well, if you know De La Soul, you know 3 Feet High and Rising. I love the second album, which is De La Soul is Dead. But he's on that Gorillaz song. Don't. Do, 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 feels good. Feels Good Incorporated, I think is what it's called. That's him rapping on that thing. Love Trugoy, man. Right. These are clashing here. Let's see what it looks like. I'm gonna draw lots of grass and things here, so I get some good texture, and it won't look like just empty. It's not truly an establishing shot when all you've got is some ground texture, but it's something, right? So it's you're showing a little bit of something. Oh, I'm still reading Dragon Ball. I think I'm on volume 6 now, and volume 6 of the Tankobons, and it's really good. So now they're off on the Namikian homeworld, and Frieza's there, who's super powerful, but we don't know how powerful yet. We're just kind of told he's like super powerful compared to everybody else. So everyone's afraid of him. And then Vegeta's up there killing people too. They're trying to get to the last remaining Dragon Balls or whatever. And also the good guys are there. Um, all of the inexplicably, the the four characters that got the 4 out of the 5 characters that got killed. Um, Back on Earth. So it's Yamcha, Chaozu, Piccolo, and another character have shown up. Um, and the Lord of Deaths, I think his name is Lord Kama. They've traveled the Serpent Road, and they're there to practice to practice their martial arts techniques, so that when they get brought back to life, that they're even more powerful or something. I don't know. Actually, I don't quite understand. They wouldn't have had to. I mean, I don't know if they would have to do that in order to get called back to life. But there they are. you know, so I'm reading this and I'm getting curious about Toriyama in general. So I decided to go back. Let's go back 10 years and go read his first thing, Dr. Slump. The thing he put out in 1980, right? So I get the first volume of that. And it's done completely as a joke. Like Dr. Slump is this joke of he's like a mad scientist who makes a robot girl. And you can tell he's really a good artist. He can really draw and a good cartoonist. But it's drawn as a joke. I mean, it's meant to be funny. And there's all kinds of sort of quasi dirty humor. Remember, shonen is Japanese for the word I know in Chinese, which is shaonan, which is young boy, a children's book. A shaonan shu is a children's book in Chinese. I don't speak Japanese, but there's some, I would say, risque humor in there. But anyways, um, you can see the evolution 10 years later of what an artist this dude becomes, because it's like the style is there, but if you like Toriyama, if you're interested in Toriyama, anyways, I would highly recommend taking a look at Dr. Slump, but as an analytical exercise. All right. I'm wondering if I'm getting this right. I think I'm going a little tiny bit too thick here. Can y'all see it? At one point, he has to buy clothes for the little girl, but he gets so embarrassed because he has to buy her underwear, so he buys a complete woman's outfit first, which that's the joke, I guess. This is the gag. So that he dresses up as a woman to go buy clothes for the little girl. Like, why weren't you embarrassed? And he was embarrassed to buy the clothes. I guess that's the joke, right? Is that the ridiculous situation that we're setting up there? Funny stuff. That's Dr. Slump. Dr. Slump. And he relies on a lot of charactered faces, not so much full figures. At least in the first volume. Show. All right, it's a start. I have a feeling this one will go quicker than I thought. But I'm 30 minutes in, which is about the length I want to do these videos. So I'm going to cut this off. And I will see you next time. And hopefully I'll have more to show you. And we will get through this as we do. Oops. As we do. And I'll do some drawing on page 24. I don't have a, I don't, you can see my gallery. Here's 23 here. These are my pages so far. Starts here. This is actually I call this a utility page. This is how I post to Instagram. It has all the right, like dimensions. And then I just take the page and paste it in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I've got at least worked out. And yeah, there's nothing on there yet, so whoops. We will keep hacking away at our comic, here to entertain you, as always. Um, all right, talk to you later. Don't listen to schmucks.